Welcome, friends, to the Trifecta of Joy. I am so excited to share Anick Patry with you. Now, this is the best part. She's French Canadian. And of course, those of you who know me know that I am sitting in Canada right now. So we've got a Canadian connection. But the other really cool connection that we share is that we both really believe powerfully in joy. Anick, thanks for being here. I'm so glad you're here.
Thank you so much, Tanya, for having me at your show. Exciting time.
It is. It's so awesome. Now you are joining me all the way from Australia where it's summertime. And you just said, like, you just barely unpacked your car, got the food out of the car and zoomed and jumped in here with me and the rest of our audience. And when they get the opportunity to see this on YouTube, they're going to be seeing your authentic, very real smile more than anything, because it's about being real and it's about embracing joy, right? Now, I know that you are an intuitive business mentor and a best-selling author and a TEDx speaker and a voice healer. And you have this mission in this beautiful world around helping empaths and conscious leaders embody their highest lucrative joy. And the question that kept coming is, okay, Anick, let's talk about this. Why is joy and play such an important role in our prosperity?
Yeah, that's a powerful question. Well, Tanya, I guess what happens is, as a little child, where that's what we do all day, all day long. We play, we discover, we learn, because we're curious and we touch things and we have our eyes wide open and we just experiment life. We discover life through our taste, through our, our five senses, and we're very open and curious and raw. And that's what we do all day. We play, we touch things, we discover, our body and the things, the objects around us. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's literally going back to childhood there, because that's kids play, but adults, they stop playing, except in the bedroom when we have sex.
And sometimes people give up on playing in the bedroom too. That's
Exactly.
the sad reality.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the sad reality. And, there's a lot of restriction and fear there as well. I mean, then we get conditioned, like, so the little kids get conditioned depending on the level of consciousness of the parents. And so, if you've been allowed as a child to play a lot, well, and to be free and to make a mess and to express yourself and to go for it, life will be a bit easier for you. But if you've been saying, no, don't touch this, don't go there, it's dangerous, and you've been imprinted in your subconscious and in your body with a whole bunch of fears that they were not even yours to start with, well, then you're going to have to uncover a few layers to go back to your true nature and to give yourself permission again as an adult to play. So what I mean by that, does that make sense so far? So far, so good?
Absolutely. And it aligns so well with the Trifecta of Joy, my most recent first published book, and obviously the name of the podcast. One of the things that I talk about in there is the cultural stew. It's the don'ts, it's the nots, it's the no's. And for some of us, it was that play was a waste of time, play was messy, play was destructive, play was dangerous. And so those kinds of stories we may still carry in that cultural stew that's been given to us from people who thought they were trying to protect us, right? But inadvertently sent us the message that play in some ways is unsafe.
Yeah. No, that's so true. Yeah, well done on your book, by the way. That's
Thank you.
amazing. That's the whole thing. It's whether we feel safe or not. And you were asking previously the question of, um, why or how plays is help you with your prosperity, because when you play, if you feel safe enough to play, like we're playing right now, we're in co-creation right now. This conversation never existed before, and we're creating this conversation.
And we're having fun doing it.
That's it. So we're playing. It's a form of playing to a degree. I've played with putting, like, I couldn't find the bloody things for my background this morning because I'm just back at my desk after a 12 days holidays on the road in the country, summertime, Christmas time, all the things. And so I put this colorful thing. That's being creative. That's being playful. And Tanya and I, we don't even know each other. We're having this conversation. We're co-creating. So it's a form of play. There's a many, multidimensional forms of play. And you're going to play to the extent where you feel safe, as you beautifully said, Tanya, just then. Are you feeling safe enough to open up your creativity, to be curious, and to experiment and explore new ways of doing and new ways of being? And that's what we do when we are an entrepreneur, when we have a business, when we follow our calling, when we follow our juju, when we follow our passion, our mission.
Are you still there? Anick, are you still there?
Clients, to my community, is like, if you're not having fun, don't do it. If it doesn't bring you joy, don't go there. It's not for you.
And that's really what it's about, right? It's about, it's that essence of figuring out what does bring you joy. And if that works for you, then giving yourself more of it. And if you find yourself grinding in something, can you find the pieces of joy in it? Or is it time to look at another path entirely? Right? And we can make those decisions can be happening in our workplaces and in our relationships. Like it is, I always say that we can never ever experience this belief in balance because everything is in motion and everything is about harmony, but we have to be willing to allow things to flow in and flow out. And that flowing in is allowing for the joy. So I'm like, that is also allowing for the prosperity, like you say.
Yeah, that's definitely I mean, play will lead to fun, to pleasure, to joy. They're all slightly a bit different vibrations, but connected. And so when you have a lot of fun in your business or in your life, in your job, in your relationship, when it's more of, we have challenges, we're not always like, always, amazing. But sometimes I do
It's the
feel
real
sad.
world. Yeah.
It's, life happens. Sometimes we feel sad. Sometimes we feel frustrated. Feelings move through. It takes only 90 seconds to process an emotions, but we have different experiences. We get triggered. We get activated. But if your piece of life, your relationship with yourself, with your beloved, with your community, with your business, with your work, your job, if you're in a job, if it brings you more joy, you have more fun than not, then it's worth digging deeper and keeping exploring and refining, and it does. But if it's mainly frustrations and it's then, well, first of all, you have to go to the relationship with yourself. I mean, that's the main masterpiece, because as a creator, we're creatrix, we're the creator of our reality. And so we create these jobs and these businesses. We are the creators. So it's going back to the self. It's always going back to the self, really.
It is always going back to the self in any facet of life, and on any facet of life. Now, you have moved through quite a spiritual conscious path and actually created a modality that I want to talk to you about and share with our audience. Tell me about it. Tell us.
Uh-huh. Okay. Well, what brings me a lot of joy is that two things that my natural talents is I love channeling consciousness. I love that what we're doing now, like having meaningful conscious conversation. I love public speaking. I love inspiring people, and I love making people laugh.
I
I mean
hear you.
that's I love seeing people happy, because mom and dad at home were not happy. So it's coming from a deep wound, but I love seeing people happy, and I love inspiring people, empowering people, and seeing people like, oh yeah, getting it and getting passionate and getting excited and going for what they want in life, believing in themselves. That so these two things really juice me up. And what I love doing myself is I love singing and I love speaking, um, inspirational speaking and singing. I love that so much. And so basically, because I've modeled a family of unhappy, grumpy people, I went on a journey finding, on a quest to look for myself, to look for meanings, to look for happiness, happiness. Um,
So
and
interesting
so
how we can go on a quest, and often sorry, I'm just gonna, we go on the quest looking for it outside of ourselves, right?
yeah, yeah. Yeah, exactly right. We do that until we don't. And so I I travel all the way from Canada to Australia to look for, look for meanings and big existential questions. But anyway, long story short, so I was profoundly unhappy. I was depressed and I was suicidal, and I was really I was not like, yeah, I didn't enjoy life. I didn't want to be here. But that was not me. That was the conditioning, the programming. That was not who I truly am. It was all the programming, the conditioning, and what I modeled, what I learned. So I had to unlearn. Anywho, um, I found myself. I'm here now. I found unique Anick, and I mean, I'm still dealing with conditioning and programming,
We
but
always will. That's part
yeah,
of life.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's being a human. But anyways, 5 years ago, I had a near-death experience. I got really sick, and I've never been sick. I've always been Miss Vitality, full of energies, like really, yeah, I never thought something like that would happen to me. And that was my biggest fear. I hate hospital, and I have a phobia of needles. And anyways, I got extremely sick, and I spent a month in the hospital, and then I had nurses at home for quite some time. It took me a year to come back, but to come back to normal, well, to health, to vibrant health. And so I had a near that experience, and then I through that experience I tune into voice, using my voice, like singing myself lullaby to soothe me,
Mm.
um, and because I was in so much pain and I was terrified. I became like skin and bones. I lost like 20 kilos. I look like a 95 years old lady. Um, and so I was really unwell. And so I using the voice and the tapping, you're probably familiar with EFT, emotional freedom technique. So and I started to channel after my near that experience. I started to connect with ascended
Here.
masters like Mother
Okay.
Mary, Mary Magdalene, and I started to connect. I've always been very, very spiritual. As a little kid, I loved to sit in church. Yeah, you too, right?
Mm.
Sitting in church, not because my parents forced me to, because I loved the peaceful, the tranquility, the peace in a church. I felt very safe and at peace there in a church. And so So I started channeling and connecting with upstairs, with the, you know, with the universe, with all of that. And they say, yeah, do voice tapping. That's your modality. And I did that for myself, and I've healed a whole bunch of traumas and a whole bunch of ancestral traumas, and I release a lot from my nervous system, and I started to use that with clients, and they, you know, they doubled their income. They grew their business exponentially. They bought their house of their dream by the beach here in Australia. They met their soulmate. So I thought, oh my gosh, there's something in there. And so yeah, it's just asked to, last year I investigated to trademark it, and so it's in the process of being trademarked. And so voice tapping, it's that's what I use to help myself and my clients to when I feel stuck, when something's not moving through, and also to manifest, to help me manifest. So the voice really helps to release energies, you know, when you're when you let go of sound, like just sounding is on an energetic perspective and on a physical perspective, it's very, very liberating.
So it's okay. So for people who are not, I just want to rewind things a little bit,
Yeah,
because our listeners
that makes sense.
may not be familiar with EFT, which is, feel free to Google it. It's called Emotional Freedom Technique. I also am a practitioner in EFT and use it with some clients as well. Now, the EFT system itself is basically tapping through a series of meridians, and using a general formula to move energy through. And it can be tremendously, tremendously powerful. Now, what I'm hearing, Anick, is that you, rather than using the version of script or whatever that piece of EFT is that is more scripted, if you will, you're using but you're using emoting in addition to that.
Yeah, that's right. So using the script that is not like I channel the script. So if you have an issue, like you know, you say, I'm going to do a group one tomorrow with a whole bunch of ladies. Tomorrow we're doing that, like what you want to release from 2022 that no longer serves you, like you became aware of a pattern or a thought pattern or a habit that really doesn't serve you at all, like a sabotage mechanism. We all have them. We have vices, you know, you know what I mean, whether it's drinking, like I love my wine but my body doesn't agree with it, but oh my gosh, I'm French, right? I love a good Pinot Noir and a French champagne. I love that, but I pay a price. You know what I mean? So it's a bit of a vice, like caffeine, a coffee, you know, like I stopped for 2 months last year, but then on my birthday, I started again. I thought, oh, I'll have a coffee for my birthday. And then, oh, I'll have a coffee the next day. And then, so, you know, like vices and things that are not necessarily super good for your physical body, or it could be a thought pattern, you know, I'm not enough, or I'm unloved, or I'm never going to make it, or whatever it is. And so we release the energy through, like I channel the script around that, and then we reframe it as a more empowering, and actually we reframe it as the divine truth. Not, I mean, more than empowering, the divine truth. Okay, because you are an infinite being of love and light. That's what you are. You are pure consciousness. You are that. You are energy. You are not the false story that you tell about yourself. I'm bad, or you know, like the conditioning as a human being. You're way more than this density, this physical human.
Yeah, I call it the meat suit. I'm like, we are so much more than the meat suit.
The meat suit.
You know, like really, like
what,
my meat suit works for me. I take care of my meat suit, and my meat suit takes care of me too. But when you talk about divine truth, it is letting go and really connecting with that truest self, that the light that is within, the light that is what I call universal love.
Oh, how beautiful. I love
Right?
that.
Yeah.
Mm,
Universal love. But so
yeah.
powerful, right? And and I think the most important message in this is that the more we allow ourselves to step into joy, to step into play, to allow ourselves opportunities to explore with our bodies, with our minds, with our voices, with our meat suits,
Meat
right?
suit. I love that.
But
Mm,
with our being, the
yeah.
more prosperous we will become in every aspect of our lives.
Yes. Yes, exactly right. Yeah, that's exactly right. You nailed it. That's the truth right there. And so yeah, so voice tapping is and I add the voice to it. Like I release with the voice,
Yeah,
and then if the client is comfortable, I invite them to actually also use their own voice to release there. And they discover some amazing things about themselves, and it's just really, really liberating, and it's super powerful. It's super powerful voice tapping, and yeah, and then makes more space for the heart to open, to soften, and then joy can penetrate there, because if the heart is shut and closed, there's no possibility for joy, you know what I mean? Joy is all is a heart energy, is like the playful, is childlike, is, joy is a youthful vibration, youthful energy, a playful energy. So your heart has to be open, and we're often very scared and protect our heart with lots of layers, right? Hmm.
absolutely. Absolutely. Oh my gosh, this has just been such an absolutely incredible conversation, Anick. I cannot thank you enough for joining us and having this really cool conversation about your new soon to be trademarked modality, right? Which is
Yeah,
the
voice tapping.
channel voice tapping, which is so cool. And then also inspiring us around joy and play and overcoming fear as we move into those lighter, brighter, more gorgeous pieces of life.
Oh, too beautiful. Yeah, yeah. Well, yeah, that's it. Because I mean, when you play and you feel joy, I mean, first of all, you're going to make more money. Life will be easier. Like everything will shift. You know what I mean? It is prosperous. It's abundant. Joy is an abundant vibration. It's filled with possibilities. Infinite possibilities. As the heart is open, as you soften, as you're in that explorative, playful, joyful energy, you'll get download, you'll get inspired, and you'll find solutions and good ideas to make more money, to um, yeah, to express yourself, your sacred self-expression. That's also a big part of my work, sacred self-expression. um, and it comes from that vibration of joy. Mm.
Comes from that vibration. Anick, thank you so much. I will ensure that our show notes have all the information, but I always ask this question. If our listeners are like, I need to have Anick in my pocket right now, where is the first place they should go?
Oh yeah. Oh dear. $1 million question. I suppose the best place to find all my juju, all my links and all that, because I've got a YouTube channel, I've got, Facebook, I've got them all, LinkedIn, TikTok, yeah, Instagram. But if you go to linktree.com, Anick Patry, Anick, like you can see it, ANICK www.linktree.com, Anick Patry. All the links are there. So you know, you can book, I'm offering, you can book a conscious conversation with me for free, complimentary. If you want to have a chat, a 15 minutes chat, I'm happy to connect with you and see if we're fit and see how I can best support you. So if you go there, Linktree, there's my Calendly link there. You can book a chat. I'll be honored and delighted to connect with you.
Oh, so lovely. Thank you for gifting that to our listeners. Thank you. Thank you. So again, it's linktree.com/ANICKPATRY. Thank you, Anick, for joining us. To our listeners, have a beautiful week. Thank you again for being you. You are so loved. I'm Tanya Gill, your host of the Trifecta of Joy. Go out and shine in the world, my friends. Mwah.
Thank you, Tanya.